Yes, that's what I was going to say next, if there was no objections.
Mhm.
So calling the meeting to order. Um, First report is from Howard, Secretary's report.
Well, let's see. Are you putting it up on the screen?
It's up right now.
Why can't, I don't know, I've done something wrong. I can't even see the website. Oh, there's
There it is. This is March, though.
Yeah, that's the March minutes. Meeting minutes for Howard's report.
Right. You can, I'm trying to figure out how to just expand this on my screen. I can't.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you can click on the box on the right side of your screen before the X, so you can make it a full screen.
okay. Well, yeah, it's a lot better now. All right. Well, if you get more people calling in,
Yeah, we still got a lot. Oops, I'm sorry.
to get people calling, should try
Just
to
hopped in.
identify. Okay, I guess you can move that down. It's just, I'm not going to read this whole report. You can go down through the last secretary's report. It was passed. At the vice chair's report here. Let's see. Maker X.
I wasn't at the meeting, but I see all the minutes. Y'all covered a lot of stuff.
And then a comment about 2021.
Josh did not send the approval. Josh did submit the year end.
And Josh's report. And we'll go to the membership. So, no Honda plant tour because of the coronavirus. No report from Ben. No report from Josh. And Ian reporting.
Why at work?
Still looking for society chairs to put their information in. I can't believe we can't. They don't answer that. We send an email to them and ask them to do that.
You mean having them get their information put in? I need to probably send an e-notice for any officers that submit their information.
Yeah, we're going to probably have to send out some more urgent types of requests for reports. At least send in something. You can't make it. It's just send me or Helen or Howard something to state that they're still active.
Probably the first week in the month, probably like the Monday before, like the Monday of the week before the meeting week. So even if it's still the previous month, so say it was still the end of March, because obviously it would have been last Monday would have been the end of March. Just send an e-notice that says like requesting submissions for the April meeting if you will not be in attendance.
Sounds good. And a lot of people right now are in a different position probably than they were before. So they're more likely online. now than they ever were before.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we put some urgency into respond and say hello, say you're still a chair, say you're still active. Um, but anyway, Howard, are you ready?
Yeah, we're after we move down, we have the ones twins report.
Student branches. Mm-hmm.
Young professionals, women engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go down into the student branches, and we don't have any reports from them.
Yep.
Colleen is here, and I just want to iterate that the lack of report is because there is nothing to report. At least as far as I know, like all public institutions are shut down and we're doing online classes. The students are in chaos right now. There's a lot of discussions taking place just about how to even just pass the students, do pass-fail grades instead of real grades. So I'm confident that I and my fellow educators have no updates whatsoever at this time, or at least until the end of the semester on that. So.
Well, for the student branches, if they want to have meetings, you can just tell me and we can fix up the ExCom for that. So it's supposed to be for like any IEEE purpose. So the ExCom is available to the student branches. Or I mean the WebEx environment is available to the student branches.
So we should send that out. I've been texting Taufig. They're the most active we've dealt with at OSU lately. Of course, you know, PES always has something going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we, and also now that Colleen is with, yes. So, young professionals, I'm sure right now there's a lot of deadlines that they were saying at first that are kind of on hold where people have to report on things or they're going to be basically inactivated. They have kind of slowed up on that region and make an allowance for what is going on with most of the issues with everybody in America and all over the world. So that's very understandable, Colleen. I mean, but right now might be a good time for us to kind of start communicating a little better because everything has kind of slowed down. And everybody's trying to figure out how to do something, how to do their work in a different way. I know for me, it has my work has increased because I was doing most of my stuff at home anyway. And now the stuff I would get away from this office is I'm doing everything here now. It depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it. Howard, let us know when you're ready. We can get this started. Because saying that, I'm sure we all have a lot to do. And if not, a little relaxing time doesn't hurt anyone.
Yeah, we're finished. We got this one motion here with under the new business, which I guess you didn't get to go to that, did you?
It's just postponed right now. So
They get rescheduling it.
yeah, they said it's set on their website. It's being rescheduled, but they're not sure like when it's going to be rescheduled for yet. So I'm keeping an eye on that. So if it gets canceled, then obviously we'll pull it off. But
All right. And then the meeting adjourned. So have a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
yes.
Yep.
Second.
Who made the motion? Me? I,
You
I
made the
thought that was
motion.
it.
all right, and who was second?
Me.
Josh seconded Howard.
Josh, okay.
So are there any opposed online right now?
Or Ian, sorry, Ian.
All right,
Ian seconded.
that's what I thought.
Josh aboard?
We have, I think we have Josh, Swin, Daniel, and Ben is also on call.
And Bob Austin.
Oh, the minutes.
Bob, yes.
The minutes from March have been approved for the record. We will have the secretary's report for April.
It's past the coverage expiration, is that right? Okay, well, I see the vehicle here on file is actually still eligible for vehicle warranty protection. For security reasons, let me get a special to give you the details on the vehicle, explain your available options. Please hold.
Do you have the capability as the host to mute people?
Yeah. Who needs muted? Let's
Okay. So now we're going to have the secretary's report from Howard.
We just did it.
That was honestly, all we do is the minutes for Howard.
Okay, for the chair's report, which is me, this is Carl Lee. Are we recording this?
Yes, it's all being recorded right now.
Great. I want everybody to know that it's being recorded. And one of the new things that I want to bring up, it would have been in new business, but I'm going to bring it up now. I would like to start a site group. I've tried to send out emails for people to know what site groups are, to make it everybody familiar with it. The site group is under the humanitarian program with IEEE, and they are expressing, even right now in emails, because of this virus also, that they are wanting some proposals for site groups, which I was already doing one, and the Roots Up that we're doing with, that we looked at with John Schrock. First thing a site group does is you need 6 people from your area and your section or the students involved in saying that they approve of it. And I had to get the approval from the director, which was Chang Lu, and I got his approval. And right now I have, including me, 5 committed. I need one more person to send in a petition. I send the petition in to the site steering group to see if we can get it approved. After you get petition approved, if you get it approved, then you end up, you have 2 years to come up with a project. Of course, we have a project that we are already looking into, but we have 2 years to decide whether we're going to do it or not. And one of the projects that we're looking into, the only project we're looking into at this particular time, is the urban farm. So is there anybody who might want to join my site group? I'm the organizer, and with this project, John will probably be the project manager.
If anyone tries talking, just a heads up, everyone is muted except for Howard and Carl right now.
Okay, can you unmute them to see if I can get a volunteer? All you do is say you would like to have a site group in Columbus. There's no official obligation. They would like that you put an hour or 2 in reading about it or getting involved in it a month.
Everyone's unmuted now, so I can go ahead and bring it up.
Signatures of at least 6 IEEE members who are members of the student branch, our section, or a society, or who indicate they will join the site group if established. I'm trying to get one more person to commit that's in our group. Is there someone who might like to say that they would like to be
You already have me on board, didn't you?
Hey, Carl, this is John Truck. Who are the 5 that we have so far?
Okay, we have Ela. He's not on here right now. We actually have Paul Berger, even though he's in Colombia, he could still become one of the site group members. We have you, we have me, we have Ian. I have some students that would like to join up at OSU. But I was trying to see if anybody in our executive committee or anybody in our particular section that I hadn't talked to about it might be interested. But I'm going to be putting the petition in next week. So I'm just inviting. Not that I have to have someone, I have enough. I would just like some of us to be more involved in it, or at least knowing what's going on. Anybody know about Saul? Have you talked to Saul, Ian?
No. Oh, wait. Black, he is not going to be on because I guess today's a religious holiday for him.
All right. Saul is committed too, John. So we have 6 in the section. So the decision now is whether to make it a OSU site group or professional site group. And we'll discuss that before I put the petition in.
Yeah, I think
I would like to entertain a motion just for feel comfortable about it. I would like someone to entertain a motion to see if the executive committee is okay with it.
I'll do it.
Well, you got to say it.
Mush. God damn, what do I say? Motion to. Dang, I don't even know what the heck to say.
Motion to establish a Columbus section site group.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Is there a second?
a second, John Truck.
John Truck seconded.
All right.
Who made the motion?
Ian?
Ian? Okay.
So since we're online and we're only on voice, are there any here that are opposed?
Carl, this is Ben. Maybe we should have some discussion if anybody has anything to discuss.
Yeah.
My question is, what kind of obligations the Columbus section would have toward the site group in terms of financial, in terms of manpower, in terms of project supports and so forth? Do we know what we are obligated to do?
Yes, and those are the questions I was looking to hear, Ben. I was hoping there would be some interest. There is formally no obligation as time given. The only thing that if we receive grant proposals, our treasurer would deal with allocating those funds to us. The section has no real involvement as far as obligations are concerned, other than to say they may support it or know about it, but there are no obligations. That's one thing about a site group. Like for instance, one that's already going on in our section is what Paul Berger is doing in Columbus, but he's doing a student site section, a student site group.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me, Ben? Hello?
I guess I had a misunderstanding because I thought when we were talking about the group, which was Schrock's proposal of the humanitarian with the garden and the roots up, we were talking about people going and working there.
Yeah, that's the project for the site group. Here's how it works. Step one, to start a site group, first thing that you have to do, which we've already done, is set up a group. So right now, the petition to establish a site group contains the following. Name of the president section of the chair section or student branch of society, which is Columbus, or one of the student branches. We haven't decided whether it's professional or whether it's student. Name of the contact information of the organizer, which is me, I'm the chair here, and then signatures of at least 6 IEEE voting members who are members of the section, student branch, society involved, and who indicate they will join the site group if established. Third is the mission, goals, and purpose and activities for the first year, and that's the project that we are talking about looking into, the Urban Farm Group, dealing with the unserved communities. Does anybody need any information for me to explain what a site group is?
Well, again, Carl, with all due respect, what are the obligations of the Columbus section? Financial, manpower, time, or whatever? That's not clear to me. I mean,
Carl,
if you would come up with a project, and if no one is providing any financial help, who would? What's going to happen to your project? What's going to happen to your group?
A site group partners with local nonprofits and local private industries. Generally, in any underserved community they're working with, they're not solely financially obligated at all. It's basically to promote technology. And like, for instance, right now, the food bank is dealing with a health issue. The food urban thing is dealing with a health issue in the area of, what do they call it? Food deserts. Like, for instance, right now, there's a large disproportionate group of underserved community people who have health issues because they don't have access to food. And our project is dealing with primarily health issues. But this is the project that we're looking at. There's all kinds of projects in the site group. They contribute positively to the local community.
Carl, if I may.
Volunteers with underserved communities and local organizations. And I'm just reading off of what it really says.
hey, Carl, I can answer his question. Carl?
Yes.
To
go ahead, John.
To address what he's asking, what I think he's asking is, so there's at least 6 people needed to be on the site group itself. Those people would only need to put in about an hour a month max. And then I would be a co-project manager with Carl, but I would really be taking the lead on it as far as the actual project. The other people that are in IEEE that are not part of the site group would not have any obligation to do any work to it. And the actual group itself would have no financial responsibility to put any money towards the project. All of the funding for the site project would actually come through different partnerships and different sponsorships. And so that funding, we would basically organize all of that. The IEEE part is to make it an official site group, and then we go out and we do the work and we manage it. So it's basically headed up by Roots Up, by Carl, and I think it's and on the community group, I forget the name right now. And so like those two partnerships together, going out and doing the work and actually getting all of the funding ourselves. And then IEEE just basically says we support their work in as a cause without any real obligation.
They even state that there's no physical obligation for anybody to be on site, but they would like volunteers and students to be involved with IEEE if we can convince them to.
Yeah, and that's also part of the project as well. Some things are paid for work, like some of the building of it and also the farming side of it. And then paying the farmer comes through the sale of the produce. But we also have a volunteer program that's for people to come and volunteer. And of course, those people can be IEEE members or people in up anywhere around town. So there's always opportunities for for people to be involved in a volunteer effort, but they're not obligated to.
So John, this has been again.
Yeah.
It's great, I mean, the purpose, the mission is great. No question about that. All right, everything is fine. But what we are saying, IEEE is telling, hey, I am supporting this group, and this group is on its own from here onward. I don't have anything to do with them. If the 6 people from Columbus section would like to donate an hour per month, which I think, is very, very, very small, how can do a project with an hour per 6 people, 6 hours per month to become a project is very astonishing. However, the whole idea is, I cannot put all these pieces together to satisfy myself. How can IEEE support it and say, hey, you people are your own? Now, if I may, another question that I have, okay, with all due respect, okay, you and Carl.
Before you go
Hello.
on, I can answer your first question first if you like.
Okay, now let me just give you the other one too.
Okay.
How many of these site groups are in existence today within IEEE? Do you have any idea? And how they have been working? What kind of issues they have? What kind of successes they have? Some more information. We don't want to be the first. We don't want to be the last either, but we want to have more information. Make sense?
Carl,
Please
do you
go
know
ahead.
how many site groups there are?
I'm sorry?
So I would have to defer to Carl about how many groups there are. I know there's a lot of them all across the country and around the world. But to get back to your first question about how we're doing it, so the company that I founded is called Roots Up. And so we have expertise in how to build and how to design and how to operate these farms. So we get the funding to get things built. We have a team of people that can already do the building. So I understand your question about how can this get done with only 6 members. And so the members are not doing the construction. They're not doing the actual design. They're doing high level planning and basically helping us to go out and find partnerships and to find support. We have the expertise and we have the means to actually do the project ourselves. And so we've already started that process. We've been talking with um, the Columbus Foundation and working with a group in that same neighborhood. It's called Cultivate, and so Amy is the executive director, I believe. And so the Columbus Foundation, the first round of funding, I believe, is like $70,000 or $90,000, and so that would be part of the partnership where they get some of the money for some of the programming. We get some of it to get it started, and so it's an ongoing funding pipeline to help fund the project, and then we have the people to then show up and do the site work and to get things built out. Does that help answer your question a little bit?
Yes. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And Carl, do you know more about the site groups and how many? He's on mute.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl, you're on mute.
Okay, Ian,
Yeah.
did you take me off of mute?
Yeah, I pulled you off.
Okay, Ben, all that information is on the IEEE website. Every bit of the site groups, what they're all about, what's required. If you go under the humanitarian, Q on the website, and then look under SIGHT, all acronyms. I can get you all that information, and I have it all, and I could send it to you, but it's a lot of information you're asking for.
No, Carl, I don't want to take everybody's time, but, I want to be more educated. So, I mean, this is a great, mission, that's for sure. But however, I want to make sure, as a member of Columbus section, what kind of obligation the section would have financially, otherwise, and so forth, because it would be embarrassing if you would go with a project and you needed to have funding, and you would come to IEEE Columbus section, supposedly tomorrow, 2 years from today, and Columbus section that encouraged you to establish it would refuse to support your project. See, I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
No, I wanted to hear from you to hear this, Ben. Actually, before I do anything, I would like to get your approval because of the details that you require for things, and that I feel is something that I'm glad to hear, actually. And I'll be glad to get more information, and even the interest feels good to me because I have all that information, but right now that's a lot of information.
Just real quick to wrap this up, just want to take more time on this. I just posted 2 links in the chat. If you go down to the bottom bubbles, the 5th one over is a chat, and I shared 2 links for site. The first one kind of shows you a map of where they are all around the world, and then the second one is an about page that talks a little bit more about what site actually is. But what I'll do after this meeting is I'll get with Carl and we'll put together a few of the best sites, and then have a little write-up together, and then maybe we can email the entire team outside of this meeting so you guys can get a chance to really read about it.
Yes, yes.
Cool.
Great.
That would be great.
Okay.
Really, I'm sure Howard would be interested, Helen as well as others. But we need to know more.
Great.
Absolutely.
Well, the last skill I have is as a promoter. Yeah, this is something that the region is looking for real big, especially since this virus. They just sent something out 2 days ago. Are there any projects like this that IEEE can look into? And they asking for this. They're asking for projects, and I was already want to start a site group, but the main thing being, you don't have to have a project for 2 years. If you don't have a project for 2 years, it's just they just discontinue the group. The 6 members are saying they're interested in having a site group, not specific projects. So that's the end of my report, and I'll be communicating with anyone who's interested in any of this. And so I still would like to see if this motion, is there anybody who would object to this motion, or is there anybody for it? So first I would ask, is there any more discussion that needs to be said before we go any further with this vote?
Carl, I'd request that you send me the names of all the members that are signed up to support it. I did not get the names.
6 is the minimum. I have about 10 so far.
Well,
And I will send that to you and send you their numbers, because there's a petition that I have that has to have their signature on it. And I would give that to you, Howard, before I even sent it in to the steering committee. You and the advisor for the section. Yeah.
Well, where you stand is you got a motion on the floor, you got a second. So you need to, vote on it.
So I'll start with all who is for starting a site group. Would you please say your name as approval? Carl, I'm 1. Gotta unmute everybody, Ian.
John, I.
Ian.
I can't. I'm stunned that it may have come to an end. All I need is an app and or a stamp, and no more forms. It's crazy, but great, wonderful. I'm also incredibly paranoid about any tax implications if I mess this up, because it's quite a bit of money here.
Okay, Colleen, are you for a site group?
Well,
Yeah.
Who's next? Is Schwinn on there?
right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I don't think you need the chat to vote if that's easier for people.
Helen?
Actually, yeah, there is a trick. Hold on. Polling. Let me see here.
We have the executive committee, Howard and Helen and Ben, and I think Robert Walston.
Yeah.
Question.
Are there any who are opposed?
No.
So there are none that oppose me starting a site group once I give this information to Howard and Ben and get their approval. That's the way I'm feeling and seeing it. Is that okay?
Here.
Sounds good.
Just need to vote through a poll.
I believe Helen should see it too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not hearing Helen though. I definitely want Helen to see it. Because Helen will be probably giving the reports for it down the road if we ever have a project. Okay, that's the chair's report. So Helen, I think it's been motioned and approved. At least there's no opposition for Howard. Is that okay, Howard, for your note, for your minutes?
Is that what? I have a motion that carried, I guess.
Yes.
Were there any negatives?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on. Helen, you have any report?
I think I'm muted. Am I okay?
You're unmuted. You're not muted.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I physically muted mine on the side so you don't get a lot of noise. So anyway, I don't have a whole lot for the vice chair report other than I sent the section recommendation to Felicia for the section Congress. They have actually inform us and recommend not to make any kind of air transportation booking at the moment, just in case this COVID-19 doesn't get under control. So they recommended not to make any travel arrangement for now for the section Congress. And
Helen, just out of curiosity, where is it being held the next time?
it's in Ottawa, Canada,
Oh, okay.
and
That's
it's scheduled for August 20 to 23rd. So they
Okay.
have, yeah, the actual section Congress is actually, let me see the calendar, 21 to 23rd, but Region 2 would like to have a meeting for Region 2 itself on the 20th and half of the 21st. So that's the reason why they're allowing the delegates to get there a day in advance for the meeting for Region 2 and Region 1. I think it's a combination meeting, but right now it's, you know, the program is still ongoing, but that's the only recommendation that they have, is not to make any flight booking at the moment. I think there is just a note, Carl. There also a vitality meeting with what's her name, Rhonda Farrell, this coming April 17. So we need to look at the spreadsheet that we have for the vitality report prior to that meeting on April 17.
Okay, you got me muted. Can you hear me, Helen?
You're not muted.
Helen, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes,
Yes,
I can
I'm
hear.
aware of that, and I've already RSVP'd for that meeting. And I'm looking at the stuff that we have to discuss.
Hey, Helen,
Is that,
this is Ben.
Helen, what
Hi, Ben.
Go ahead, Howard.
April?
Okay,
Okay,
I go
Howard,
ahead.
Howard, I'm done. So if Ben wants to make a comment.
Yeah, just a question, on this vitality, the meeting on 17th of April. I got an invitation too. Do I need to participate or?
I think they send it out to the section, especially because you're a PACE chair.
Sure.
So
Okay.
so she sends it to society chairs and then the section. And I mean, it's not mandatory that you attend, I guess, but it would be a good idea for you to give us an update of some of the events for the PACE. That way we can enter that into the vitality report.
Yeah, Ben, she just sent that out 2 days ago.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. I haven't responded yet, but anyhow.
Okay, so that's all I have.
Thank you.
So Ben, what about the Canadian trip? You're still interested in that when they resume, correct?
Yeah, I mentioned it to Helen, as well as to you. Yeah, I'm still interested if it would happen.
Okay, good. Okay, Josh, are you here at all, Josh?
Yes.
Is the treasurer here? Howard, you had a discussion with Josh about possibly this be overwhelming him and he might be considering resigning, and we were discussing possibly.
Is on here.
Josh
is online.
He's having. I think he's having a technical difficulty right now because he's buffering.
Okay.
I saw he's got like a caution triangle on him on his.
So can he put in a chat?
He's got bad speed. He needs to cancel his video. Josh, if you can hear me, make sure you're not streaming your video right now. I think he cut off or something.
Okay, we'll see if we can come back to his report and move on along if it's okay until we reestablish communication with him. So I'm going into the with Josh, we're supposed to update and finalize the vote on the budget and have the expense from 2019. Has any of those already occurred, Howard, before I move on? And you guys hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so professional societies. Saul's not here right now. We don't have a report from him. He's observing a holy day. So we don't have anything on him. Ben, Pace.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Ben, we have a Pace. Do you have anything for
Ben?
Pace?
Oh, Ben. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. No, unfortunately, well, nothing has been happening. Everything is at and no activity at this time.
Okay, the educational activities chair, maybe Josh, if he has anything on that. We were talking about putting in some STEM programs that Ian might be involved in. We're maybe combining that. So maybe if he wants to talk about that, if we reestablish communication with him.
I think Josh is trying to call in right now. I'm seeing.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
How you doing, Josh?
Yeah, I'm here.
How's the family?
So do you want me to go back to the financial stuff first?
Family's okay, right?
What?
I said, how's the family?
Oh, it's going well. We're waiting on a court date to adopt our son, so that's been keeping me pretty busy. So.
Okay, yeah, so now we're ready for the
Lots of paperwork.
treasurer report. Yes, it would be.
So this is the budget as I see it from what I was sent from Howard and what I remembered. Please let me know if there's anything that needs to be added or changed on this.
Howard and Ben and Helen and Robert, can you all see this? If you cannot, go to chat.
I wanted Josh on the AEP. I need to give you just an update on that, I guess. They mailed the check last November, mailed it to a wrong address, and they have remailed that.
Okay.
We will have to check with National because it goes to National, and they transfer the money back to our account. And I'm not sure whether we got approval for 2 years, but I don't know whether they are paid 1 year or they're paying 2 years because they paid it last November and the check got lost, went to a wrong address, and we never got it. And I don't know why they didn't send it to the right address. Anyway, I contacted them, told them to follow the address that I put on the request and send it to that. And since it hadn't, this came up in March, we get the other one would have been given to us in November for 2021. So they may have written it for $3,000, kind of what you've shown in the budget. I mean, that is approved for $3,000, but I'm not sure whether it was the $1,500 or the $3,000. But I think it is going to be the $3,000. Anyway, they did send a check to IEEE headquarters. Got to come back to the Columbus section. I don't know how that works, but they should put it in our account. Just wanted to mention that. Okay.
Yeah, our keep a lookout. If it's written to us, I would imagine it, or if it gets to the right place, I don't know. But anyways, it should show up in our account, and I will keep an eye on that.
Yeah, and if you don't get it by June, contact, or we can check. You can check it. I don't know. However that works. It goes into the national and then it comes back to us. So. Okay, that was one comment. That's all. I wanted to make sure you understood that.
Yeah. Did you understand why the beginning balance for this year or the ending balance of last year was so high? Did I answer your question on that?
Well, yeah, you mentioned the ethics, but I think those funds go to somebody at OSU to their account.
Correct. I think it's the same guy that I dealt with last year. I think it's I don't remember his name offhand, but anyways, I haven't heard anything from them. I don't know what's going on, but I think there was 2 of them that were deposited, and they were for $10,000.
Those checks were supposed to and are supposed to go to Paul Berger's site project.
One of the ESD is sending $10,000. If one of those is ESD, yes, it's already gone. Okay. I have a check for Paul. He's actually stuck in South America, I think, or Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, he's stuck somewhere because of COVID-19 and had to up it. He's actually asked the IEEE National for more money, I guess. But anyways, so one of those came in like December, end of November, December timeframe. And like I said, I haven't heard anybody of who, or from the Epics national, like I did last time, saying who they belong to. So until I have a check request, I can't do anything with that money until I know who it goes to.
Okay, Josh, do you communicate with Dr. Berger at all?
Dr. who?
Dr. Paul Berger, he's the one.
Yes, I've talked to him a couple times now.
Great, great. Just wanted to make sure y'all were in touch with each other.
Hi, Josh. This is Helen. In the banking account from NetSuite, and it does have a note in there that that money is for EPIC's IEEE project support for Ohio State University, and they have a contact person there, and it says Dr. David Delane on both of those. So I'm not sure who this Dr. David Delane is, but his name is in that note from the banking.
So how do you spell his last name?
Helen, this is John Schrock. I know David Delane well. His office is actually right next to mine.
Okay, because that's in the note that this is the EPICS project support for Ohio State University. Contact Dr. David Delane on both of those.
Okay. Here's the issue there, which when I first started chairing, there came up to be an issue about who was in charge of the OSU group.
No, this has nothing to do with that.
That's different, Carl.
These are EPICS grants for projects that are being done. I don't, and they're, yeah.
That's not the same David.
No, I think the issue, that was the issue with the student section.
This is not student money at all. This is grant money for projects being done through EPICS.
What is EPIC? Can somebody explain to me what EPIC is?
I have no clue.
Because the first $10,000 came in on February 25th, and if we and the last 10,000 came in on the 12th of December. So that money has been sitting in our account, you know, for the entire, the 10,000 is almost a whole year.
No. The first 10,000. The first 10,000 should have been paid. I paid a $10,000 check to OSU. The problem with that is, and why it took so long, is one, I sent a check to somebody at OSU. In his name is how he filled it out on the form, the check request form.
Yeah.
And it could not be sent to him directly because then it's a gift to the university. So I had to resend that to them and send it and write the check to OSU. That has been done. So I don't think that money is actually in the account if I look at it.
Well, if it is written to OSU, then that should have been a minus into our account, but there is no debit in our account. So either OSU cash it in or it's somewhere.
If they haven't cashed it or it hasn't, like, if they haven't done anything with the check, I don't know.
So I find it curious that it's the exact same amounts that Dr. Berger's discussing, two $10,000 checks.
No, it's not two for Dr. Burgess. It's one, unless he has another EPICS grant coming too. But I just actually looked up. Dr. Burgess money came in February.
Okay. That's how I was mixing them up, is the exact amounts.
And it's EDS money that came in from them.
Yeah, I think what happened with Dr. Berger is he was telling us that he needed the money before he even got approved. So that was the problem.
So he was basically saying he has money in the EDS account that he wanted to kind of front himself for the ticket and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Until the $10,000 actually came into the account.
Because I keep getting these emails from him, and I'm hearing one side. You know. Okay.
Okay, this has been Ian. Could you enlarge this the budget? I never got a copy of it, and we were supposed to get it last month, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But anyhow, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Could you move it? Yeah, I cannot see. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. I'm just trying to read it, just quickly, if you don't mind. I don't know if others have a copy of it or not.
I don't have a copy of it.
Okay, so I can see the $3,000 from AEP. Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Why don't you call AEP yourself, your contact, and find out whether it's 3,000 or less than that?
1,500.
Yeah, I need to. Well, the people I need to contact are also working from home. I'll have to email them and then see if we can get some kind of response. I will double check because they told me when I told them they mailed it to the wrong address, told them where to mail it. I think the comment came back that we will mail the full amount, but I'm not sure. I have to look and find that email.
That's fine. That's fine. If you want anybody's cell phone number, let me know. In case you want to call them on their cell phone number. Anyhow, so that's no essentially the first part of this budget. It reflects more or less the same thing as we had last year, right? Or this is completely.
They said we have it for 2 years. You're going to get 3,000, but
Sure.
They wrote the check last November, and I was told it was written for 1,500.
Yeah.
Okay, and they came back to me in March and wanted to know if we got the check.
Sure.
And I said, and I asked where they mailed it, and you'll laugh at this. They mailed it to Taiwan's old post office box, and he never got it. We had that problem twice now.
Yeah. TC Wong.
Wrong address. They didn't even look at the address that was on the thing that I had given them that we used where it was supposed to go. So it was go to national. And
Sorry.
I think when they responded to me, he said, when we sent the check out, or when we send it out, it'll be the total. I think that was a comment, but I've got to find the email.
If you would. If you need any help, I might be able to help too. Now, on the second part of the budget, the allocated budget for 2020 for CTC as well as other places, PACE and others, are these the same figures, the same as 2019, or they're changed?
Couple are changed because of I think.
No, we was the same as 2000. That was just my error because I copied some of this from previous year.
Okay.
Okay, if you scroll
the
down
only one that
to...
has.
Oh, sorry.
The only one that is added in this area is the legislative day.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only difference I know from last year to this year in this section.
Okay.
E-Week was reduced by $50. We had 300 budgeted last year, and we only spent 250, and we reduced it to 250 because that's a sponsorship.
Okay. And then
the reason why they did that, Ben, because they have a certain level. So they have like a breakdown on levels. So we did the 250 to have the silver sponsorship.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you very much. There's no figure if I'm not mistaken, on the PayPal, the fees. So we are not going to have anything like that. And it's going to be minor anyhow, so we don't have to worry about it, right? Yeah. So could you scroll down, please, if you don't mind? I mean, scroll up, yeah. Let me just see the others.
I would say on the PayPal fees, the chapter doesn't have any, and most of the time it comes out of the money. Like I see two transactions. One is money coming in and one is money going out. One is the fee and one is the thing. There is actually a lot from last year. I haven't. It's hard to get it into a form that I can total up easily. So anyways, like there will probably be some of that, but it really comes out of like whoever's using PayPal. Like it won't come out of the chapter per se. Like PES used PayPal last year.
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks, Josh. Now on societies, again, the same question, if I may ask, are these allocated budgets the same as last year for society?
I'm in a meeting.
What about PES?
Yeah, theirs is the same as last year.
So PES last year, this is Daniel Chinuma, by the way. PES, we spent 1,800 last year. Are we planning to up that amount?
That was a discussion.
Yep. Are we? So when do we finalize that discussion?
Howard?
What was it? What was it being up to? I don't remember.
We were discussing.
It was not in the meeting minutes that I saw of any increase to PES this year from last year.
In February.
So my question is, does PES want to increase their budget? Do they ask to be increased? Then we can, if they ask to have it increased, then we can have a motion to increase it or not. Yeah.
Is Sean on the phone too, or is
yes. This is Sean. Yes, definitely. Yeah, we want to propose the budget increase, and I think Daniel did mention that in one of the meetings before. But anyway, yes. We can re-mention this here because we like every year we try to have a workshop, and I think Josh knows that. We kind of spent some money for the workshop last year. Definitely, we hope we can have enough budget to handle any workshop and any other events, like a monthly event. So I don't know if we can propose that increase here.
That was discussed in February with Daniel.
So Sean, if I may ask, how many meetings are you anticipating to have in 2020, knowing COVID-19 and so forth? And do you think wouldn't be a lot or less because the timing is changed too? Should we keep it as we have it now because COVID-19, or maybe we should increase it? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. Maybe due to COVID-19, definitely we may lose like 2 events, the one event for April, one event for May. That may help to reduce some budget. But I don't know if we can increase this at least to like $1,600. So because I still plan to have at least 6 events during the second half of the year and plus 1 workshop.
So is there a motion to add $300 to the PES budget at this time?
We don't actually have to. To my knowledge, we don't have to vote on each individual add to the budget.
Okay.
We can just add it to the budget and then vote on the budget.
Got it.
Okay, sounds good. So it's essentially $300 for PES. Howard, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask the question. At the bottom, doesn't PES have money already in an account? Go down to the bottom, Josh, where it shows the money, the extra money.
Yeah, could you scroll up?
Scroll up, yeah.
PES doesn't tend to have any other money, because they, and this is something that they might want to look into, they don't get money like ESD and the antenna and attenuation tends to get money from the national, like nationally from their from dues, because they have, just like we get, Columbus gets our dues because we pay dues, we get a portion of
Right.
those dues. I
But
think
they get-
ESD and stuff gets money from them.
I thought that they actually had an account where they had accrued money in the past when they got some various, had money for having.
It was pretty much used up. That I think their carryover from 18 to 19 was like $200 or something.
Okay, I didn't understand that. Okay, you've explained that. I didn't know they'd
So-
used it up.
The reserve, like some of that is built into their budget. I also have to say that I do have an email to send out to you. I'll try and get it out on you becoming having your own account. I'm also trying to set up that we can share the budget. So as I talked with Howard too, like we have a Google document, Google Drive account, and I'd like to try to get that to a point where we can all put stuff in there and we can all add and do what we need to do with that, so it's all in one place. So you have your budget within there, and we can make sure that everything's going okay.
So Josh, are you saying we are going to have our own account and we can write our own check? Is that
Yes.
what you are mentioning? Okay.
Really right now, the only people that have their own account is OSU. Their student branches, both the student branch and the graduate student branch have their own account, and there's some miscellaneous one. I don't know what it is. And nobody from OSU seems to know what it is. But anyway, so that's the only subsidiary accounts to Columbus that we have right now. But they said you can definitely get your own. You need 2 signers, and there will be forms that I will send you that you will fill out, and you have to mail into an address because they have to have the original copies of the signature and everything.
Okay. Josh, please. As I recall, last time when we met, was it in February? The issue came up, okay? That, for a vote, of course, we didn't take any votes. Whether, societies should have their own account or not. So we did not make a decision as a whole, the section for PES or others to have a separate account. There will be lots of these, and who's going to oversee it? Is it under ours or under IEEE? I don't know. So there was some confusion, if I'm not mistaken. The decision was not made.
So technically, I don't need you to vote on it.
May I please? Okay. When you're saying, when you're stating, yes, PES or other societies can have their own account, maybe this is your opinion, all right? The section should vote on it. My apologies.
Okay. Can we vote now?
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Let me back up there and let me give you some information. This is actually from Region 2.
Right.
I just wrote a check to, I just wrote a check for over $500 to PES to, how do you pronounce your name? The chair?
Shen.
Twin.
Jean?
Yeah.
Twin.
Twin. So that is not something they want to keep happening, that we're reimbursing people that much money. So when they have their own account, they can also have their own card, their credit card that's attached to that has $1,000 monthly limit, that they can pay for this stuff and that we're not reimbursing them from their personal account. So the bigger the bill, the more they don't want us to do it out of our own pocket. So I'm being told from Region 2 that it's better for them to have their account. And again, if they don't budget, like if they don't do their NetSuite stuff, and if they don't do it, it technically falls back on me anyways. And if we have it set up right, I'm going to still see all the transactions. One, I'm going to have to transfer the money into them whenever we have it, because it will come through our account. So I understand that you think that we don't, and for any other right now, any other sub society, I would not recommend them get their own account, because I haven't reimbursed anybody else other than PES, we, and young professionals. Young professionals tend to have a couple, and they might be big, but for the most part, we're supposed to try and do it through the means of not it coming out of people's pockets for the most part.
See, Josh, my point is not that I'm against it. I am not. All I'm just trying to say, what's the process? You're saying, Region 2 said yes, they can have it, fine. But what's the process? Who is going to, at the end of the year, go through the balance sheet and so forth? Who's going to audit it? Do they need any auditing? Would it be part of us? So all I'm just trying to say, if we know the process, how it's going to work out, we need to know before we say yes or no.
So Ben, this is Sean. So from my personal point of view, definitely we hope we can have that account by ourselves, because as Josh mentioned, I spent so many dollars out of my pocket in the past year.
Yes,
and
you're right.
Right now, I'm still having like $500, owed by EEE. So if we can have that account, if we can have the credit cards, our charter is going to use that credit card and all the reimbursement stuff by ourselves. So then we don't have any out-of-pocket costs or reimbursement stuff, just delaying to the person.
Sean, with all due respect, I understand where you're coming from. My apologies, personal apologies for you not to get your money on time, for so many months. This is really embarrassing. However, all I'm trying to say, do you know, all right, the process? I mean, what's kind of reporting you have to do at the end of the year? Would it be to us or to Region 2 or to IEEE? I don't know. I don't have any idea. All I'm just trying to say, we need to know the process, how it's going to be implemented, so that, collectively, everybody would be educated to vote on it. That's all I'm trying to say. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, definitely. We do respect your observation there, and definitely we want to save some troubles in the end of the year. And that's the reason we do have a treasurer in our society. So right now the treasurer is Daniel. So I assume Daniel, our treasurer, PES Society treasurer, is going to work closely with the Columbus section treasurer like Josh. And then they will figure out so whenever we use our credit card, I think our treasurer is going to send a note to the Columbus section treasurer. At least we can keep something documented and recorded.
No, I agreed. I agreed. But what I like to see, if I may, that's my hope. I like to see in writing from Region 2 how is being done. I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Okay. So it's the same way that we are being done. Our account would be just like their account. So they would have a NetSuite account that would be clean, which would be super nice, because I think there's some stuff that's in there that would be beneficial. And they would have their own CBRS account that shows them all their transactions and stuff like that. So it would be set up the same way I have to do my reporting. I don't see OSU student branch reporting. I haven't heard of it. I haven't seen of it. I haven't been asked for it. So somebody must be doing it because it is technically under our account, but I've had no contact with OSU student branches to find out what's going on. So the Columbus section would not be in a sense liable. That's why they need two people to sign it and be signatories on the account. They would get their own checks. They could sign up for their own card. They would have to do their net suites at the end of the year.
Josh, a question for you. Who's going to audit expenses?
I mean,
see, all I'm trying to say.
That have to be read.
See, all I'm trying to say, if there is a process established by the society, region, or whoever, it should be open to everyone. Based on that, we can do it. No one is going to say something would go wrong. No. All I'm just trying to say, we don't have to go based on feelings, or we don't know, or we do know, and it's good. It's fine. It's great. However, let's just go ahead and see what Region 2 is recommending based on what. What's the process? Who's going to audit it? If we need to audit it, maybe we don't. I don't know. All I'm just trying to, I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Ben, if there isn't a process, is that something you'd be comfortable with our group coming up with one?
No, see, Daniel, it's not really you. It's not the PES. Josh is telling us. Josh is telling us. Region 2 is doing that. Region 2 is doing that based on what recommendation? Is it IEEE recommendation? Is this a process? You know, I mean, with all due respect for our PES, I am a member. I have been supporting that for many years. So all I'm just trying to, I want to do it right. I don't want to have, hey, at the end of the day, we come back and say, hey, we made a mistake.
And I agree with you, Ben. What I worry is that they're doing it, but there isn't a process. So we can go and talk to them. And
may I ask a question?
Yep.
Where does Richard come in as the PES advisor? What is his role? Richard Smelker.
So Kyle, so this is Xuan. So Richard is our advisor. He attended our monthly officer meetings, and also he supported some of our events. So he supported as a volunteer. He provided some PE credits, PE certificates, those kind of things. And that's his role. I mean, he's just supporting us, but he don't have any mandatory, kind of things like an officer. Yeah, he's totally volunteering, and that's it.
Thank you.
So I would have to say that we would have that. How do we audit ourselves? We have an auditor that audits ourselves, but we also get audited from the national organization every so many years. So I would imagine if you have an account that you would get audited as an aspect of that branch of national, just like we would. The second is we built our own audit system with Mr. Reed, and that was built by the section. I don't know that every other section around the world has that same aspect going on. So,
okay, if I may,
some of this is imposed, not imposed from national, but self-directed by the sections themselves.
Okay, if I may, can I suggest this quickly? All right, Sean and Daniel. All right, if I may propose, go ahead, write up, your own process if you don't mind. All right, is it okay for us not to vote on it tonight and do it for next month meeting, so that we would review yours and our auditor would review what you're suggesting? So if everything is okay with everyone, no issues.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure no mistakes are being made.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm fine with that as long as I have access to both Josh and the auditor, because I will need to ask some questions and flesh some things out.
Of course.
Okay. So and when I say that, I'm saying I've sent a few emails and I haven't gotten emails back. So I don't know.
See, that's the issue.
And Josh has a connection with the regional finance administrator also.
Yeah, that's fine. So I guess what I'm worried about, and I think Shwin was expressing this as well. We're not getting paid, but I'm also not getting communication. So because of that, it makes it difficult for us to run a successful society. So if I get that, if we can guarantee that I'm going to have communication with the people I need to get documentation, I'm fine. But if we're not going to guarantee that that's going to happen, then I'd rather not go down that road and kick the can, and then we won't be able to have people get reimbursed, or we won't be able to move down this road.
So can we all who are involved commit to that before we start a motion to approve this budget?
You need to go back up and come on down through the rest of it. There were other changes that we did on the 12th that I think Josh has included. Last month was the 11th, I guess. I don't know. Last month's meeting,
It was on the 12th.
applied the budget. And I think you've got it in here, Josh. The others, Colleen's at, we reduced the ride to 0.
Also need to add the 300 to PES.
And we raised Zane State up to 500.
Right, for Colleen.
So a question, Howard, a question on the top general funding, $1,000. Student branch, what does it mean? Where does it go?
It can go to any one of the student branches that you can see they have some low numbers in here. They have low numbers, don't even have any dollars, so they have spending in it. But if they
so that was created, it's a head count because we were putting larger numbers in each of the chapters and then it wasn't getting used. So we just said we're going to create $1,000 fund that any chapter or any student branch can come and ask for if they will or need to go over their individual budget.
Okay, is a contingency account. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, Ben. That's the fund that Mia applied for last year when she went to
was it
conference. Yes.
Was it in Netherlands, right? Yeah.
Yeah, in Berlin. So that's one of the funding that she applied for the $500.
Okay, I got it. Now, could you scroll up? 2019 miscellaneous carryover. What's that? 2019.
Oh, that's on the right side.
Yeah, just toward the end, scroll up, I think.
Come on, this thing sucks.
Yeah, 2019 miscellaneous carryover. Anyhow, this is a figure, I mean, there's no explanation, what it is.
That came with, I haven't figured out what Jared did with that or where that came from. So I just left it there for the now. It's in parentheses. It doesn't seem to be added anywhere. I don't know if that was money that came in that he didn't know what to do with or something. So again, I just haven't found where it went or what it went to. I just didn't delete it.
Is this a positive number or a negative number?
I think it's I honestly I don't know. I don't know where it went or what it came from.
Josh, make a
comment? I can reach out to Jared. Yeah.
I think that miscellaneous carryover are expenses that people turned in from 2018 and it didn't get paid until 2019.
Oh, maybe.
So some people did not send in reimbursement requests for their 2018 until early in 2019.
Yeah, or if he didn't get it paid, if it doesn't, like some of the things, if it doesn't show up in our accounting in the in our statements that we get per month, he didn't put it in the it hadn't come out, or it hadn't come out of our account yet. So therefore, so some of the stuff that happened in December got carried over to January.
Okay.
Because it actually didn't come out of our account yet.
So essentially, 2020 total income is about $36,000. The budget is about the expenses about 22,000, and other grants. That 20,000 is that the EPIC? What's that?
EPIC, and there's now an ESD for Dr. Berger.
Okay. And then there's reserve funds for societies. What's that name?
So that's the EDS account, and so that's money that's in EDS and I think antenna and propagation. So they get money that they keep. So it's like they have their own account because they get money from national, and it states that if they don't use our money, they don't get it. It doesn't stay in their account. It just stays in our budget. But if they get money from outside of Columbus, that they keep that. So that is why.
Okay. Now, if I may ask, Josh, how did you come up with 52,000?
That is the basic closing budget because of the 20,000. It'll be 36.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
I'm sorry.
Apologies.
So that's just because there's that $20,000 sitting out there. It will be 36. That 20,000.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did not follow, but it's just breaking up. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm on my phone. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Not. Maybe others are. I don't know. I am not.
Ben, he said it's because of the 20,000.
Can you hear Josh? Everybody?
I can hear Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear. I think Ben just was trying to explain that the 52,000 includes the 20,000 of the grants. So in reality, the actual budget is only 36,000 change. Josh, can I make a comment when you do the reserve funds for society? Can you break it down with EDS and APMTT?
It is. It's in. This is just a PDF of Columbus's budget. If you actually go to the drive and pull up this Excel file, the Maker X is broken down in there. PDF. All societies have a broken down piece in there.
Okay, because I was discussing the budget, the funds with Dr. What's her name? Alexandra for the APMTT, and last year they received 20,000 from IEEE, and not 20,000, 2,000 from IEEE. So she was telling me that they have a running account of like $4,500 in that society account.
I did not. Do I have that up? I did not see an income of $2,000 from any miscellaneous. Did you see it on the sheet that was sent in, that I sent out? It would have to be on there.
Yeah, it was in the banking report that they received to 2,000 total.
Okay, I'll look at it because I didn't know EDS was another one. There was they got $1,000 from National EDS last year as well.
Yeah,
but I didn't know what it was.
APMTT received $1,000 on April, and then $500 in May. So they have a total of 2,000.
Okay, I'll look back through that then. That's fine.
Okay, Ian, I don't think you'd have to pull up that Excel sheet.
Yeah, I was looking.
Yeah, at this point, if there's not any more discussion, I'd like to entertain the movement to approve the budget.
Actually, one thing I have for you, when I looked earlier, the website is actually now being funded by IEEE themselves. So we're not paying for that as a society anymore.
You only have $50 anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got $50 in it, but I mean, I don't think we're paying for it anymore.
So you want me to take that out?
Somebody that might want to put a move on the table.
So before we actually do that, just to, I guess, to be clear, I know it's not necessarily completely related to this, but I want to make sure that we have something on the books to make sure we're moving the PES ball forward. And just to be clear again, I haven't been getting responses when I've emailed people. So I would like us to, if possible, Josh, if you and I can look at your calendars now, make sure we have a time to talk. That would make me feel, I guess, a little bit more comfortable that this isn't just going to be something that's kicked down the road.
Yes, and I was going to bring that up right after this, but good. What do you? Is there a commitment?
So I want to get a date on the calendar. So Josh, you pick a night, we can get together, we'll talk, and we'll get it done.
And I have to support Daniel because this is very important to us. But anytime, Josh, if you have any availability, I mean, we should be available for you. So.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? I don't know. I cannot hear everybody very well. But anyhow, can you hear Ben?
Yes, Ben.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, everything is okay. I mean, I'm sorry, I just missed, a part of the conversation. But again, at the end, Shuan as well as Daniel are going to go talk to, of course, Josh as well as, our auditor and so forth. And then at the end, I believe, the package will be presented to the to Columbus section, right? That's fine. That's fine. Now, I didn't understand those figures all the way to the bottom. We have about 42,000. Is that the 42,000 remaining? Is it the budget? This is the balance that we're going to have. I didn't understand it.
Excuse me for a second, Ben. Daniel and them are trying to get actual time before we move.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My apologies.
So with COVID, I'm basically completely wide open. So Josh, if you just pick a time that works best for you, I think Schwinn and I can make it.
Okay. I'm actually, hold on one second. This is probably the best way to get on my schedule. Oh, sorry.
Daniel, how do you say your last name?
It's Chianuma.
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 Chianuma. I like
There you go.
that. Chianuma. Thank you.
Yep.
I haven't been in touch with you, but I've been thinking it was Alwine, and I'm seeing he's a whole different Daniel.
All good.
And that's why I wasn't getting any information back. I was
No
sending that to
problem.
him.
Did you guys set a date or a time? Or?
Not yet.
We're waiting on Josh. He's looking at his schedule, Howard.
Okay.
No, so Daniel, can you go to your email?
Yes. I'm in my email.
Did you just get something from me? If not, it should come through. There's a scheduling link on there.
Did you go to my Gmail or
Just
is it
follow
my
that.
burnsmcd.com?
Let me see. My phone number is there as well. It's MC. It ends in MCD.
Yeah. Okay. Just got it. This will work.
So it's just for 30 minutes. If we need longer, don't worry about the time limit on it. It doesn't matter. I can make it as long as I want. That's a easy way to get on my calendar.
Okay. That'll work. I'll
You guys need Reed's information? Auditor?
Yes, please.
Ian, what do you have on that?
For me? Okay, now essentially, at the end of the day, that 52,323 represents the money that we have. We will at the end.
Besides the 20,000, correct? 36, 30.
I'm sorry.
I can send the. Can you hear me, Ben?
Yeah, I can. Go ahead, please.
I can send a new. We can send this one out again. I just put in so it subtracts the 20,000 from the ending balance.
Okay.
So that one will read 36 now, because that should not be on the books by the end of the year.
Excuse me, gentlemen, for a second. Daniel, just to close the matter, if you get with Ian, he's our communication director. He'll help you get with Jim Reed.
Okay. Ian, I'll shoot you an email after the meeting.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Josh, you're going to reissue this?
Yes.
Okay. So would you send it to our email addresses, like, Helen, Howard, myself, and others? You have the email addresses? Okay.
I don't know if I have yours, Ben.
Well, I communicated with you several times. Unfortunately, I didn't get any response.
I probably do then.
Yeah, if you go to Mehraban, 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 you will find me in your email.
Okay.
So when do you think we'll do that?
I'm actually getting it ready right now. I have it subtracted. I don't know why that's in there.
Okay. So tonight, huh? That's great. That would be great.
But this means we're not going to approve a budget tonight, right?
If I can't get a motion, I'm looking for a motion. It could be denied.
Well, if we're still making changes, we can't make it on that PDF, so we can see what the result, what we were putting in, like adding the $300 in on PDF, and whatever we need to do here. You're not going to have anything. If that'd been a spreadsheet, we could have an Excel.
Well, I can
make the changes and have the motion and get it passed.
I'll just move that we table that, correct?
You're going to be May before you approve a budget. Have no approval to spend money.
Hey, Sean.
We're going to table this.
Sean, Sean and Danielle, you're not gonna have any meeting next month, right? No one is, right?
So we still plan the meeting on May 15th, but we will make some further decision by the end of this month to determine if we need to have that or we need to cancel that. But right now we have May 15th as the date.
Are we okay to review this budget next month and approve it?
You mean you want us to review the?
No. For us, because we don't have a conclusion right now tonight. So
Yeah, so we're gonna table
What
it.
do we need to get a conclusion tonight?
That's the question.
Well, I mean, all these figures, you said you have to make some corrections. That's what I heard, right? Maybe I'm mistaken.
So can I offer a suggestion here? So at least for me, I'm okay with having another section meeting like weekly, like next week or in another 2 weeks. If we think waiting 1 month is too long, I mean any time frame for me after 6 p.m. is fine to me. So I mean if Ben, I mean I do like Ben's suggestion just to be more careful about the budget plan. If we want to have another like 30-minute meeting to approve the budget, I mean we can do that. But just for me, one idea here.
Well, if I may, Carl and Helen, would you be able to set up another meeting, a quick one, for approval of the budget?
I can.
Okay.
How about you, Helen?
Can you see the budget now?
It just disappeared.
It's starting right now. You're just give it a few seconds. Josh took control. He's trying to share his screen. It says you're starting to share content. So right now we're just waiting on you to finish getting it.
Yeah, it's just working at my end. I don't know what's going on.
Well, earlier when you were trying to stream your video, it showed up. There you go. Bad bandwidth, but.
Is there a reason that we're looking at the budget now?
Well, I'm just saying, what do we need to do to get it finished tonight? What do you need to change? I mean,
does anybody have an answer to that?
I mean, I upped the budget to $1,600 for PES. Right. Everything else was proposed and approved last meeting. We voted on every approval that went onto the meeting, that went onto the budget.
I see that. So once again, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the budget. Is there anyone who might want to make that motion?
I'd say we get it approved. I mean, I don't really see anything else.
That's it in words, Ian. I move that we.
Okay, fine. I move that we approve the budget.
It's Daniel, I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Who was
aye?
Who
Any
made the
opposed,
motion?
say aye.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
made
the
motion and Dan seconded it.
Could you repeat the motion? I couldn't hear it, please.
To approve the budget for 2020.
Yeah, you made the change.
Repeat that.
Can we see the corrected budget, the modified budget? I cannot see it. Okay, now I can. That figure from 52 to 36,000, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So that's fine. And then essentially can you talk to me about that 42,000? That represents what? What figure?
That represents the reserves from the funds plus the 36.
So at the beginning of 2019, we had 58. At the end of 2019, we had $58,000, right? Makes sense? Now, this 42, what's the relationship? The 42,000 and the 58,000 at the end of 2019.
I don't know.
Current balance over here to the right states 58,843. 57.
So that's basically the less without the reserves. So the reserve funds or the society funds is added into that. And then also like any Maker X money. So like the 36,000 is what we have for our budget. And then the projects on top of that are what this equals from what I understand. And it might not be completely right because there might not be numbers that have been updated yet. But for the most part, this is just my budget that I use. So as the year goes through and I go through the CBS, this is what I will update to get the right numbers in all of that places. But until it comes out of our account, I don't put it on here.
Sure. So just my last question, Helen, help me out too. So at the end of 2019, we had about 58,000. Now at the end of 2020, we have additional of 42,000. So we are going to have 58 or only 58 on some change. I don't know.
No, really at the beginning of 2019, we should have 36,500 in there because of the 20,000 that was carried over from last year in the EPICS grant. Again, there was money that is not allocated or defined, and it's up in the budget because I had to do something with it and show that it came in. It's other in the budget. That should be spoken for. Somebody should be that needs to be sent to somebody. It's just that I'm keeping track of it here.
Sure, but all I'm trying to say, we don't want to create any confusion for the auditor, for anyone else, in the future. I just want to say that 58,000 is the money that we had at the beginning of 2020. I think, right, makes sense. So I don't have any correlation. The 42,000 and 58. I don't know. I'm rather confused. Maybe I need some more education. That's my point. That's it. Don't you think, our auditor should take a look at this budget, proposed budget, and the numbers? If he has any comments, he should let us know. I don't know. I'm just suggesting this. I don't want to take anybody's time, but if you think you would like to approve it, go ahead and do it.
Well, we already have a motion and a second. This is just discussion right now, Ben. So before
Yeah. Okay, fine. That's great. Go ahead.
So by name, the executive committee. All who approve, would you please say your name? I'm the chair. I approve. Ellen?
Jones.
Mute somebody. Howard?
Did you hear me? I
No.
said yes.
Howard says yes. Josh?
Yes.
Helen, I didn't get to hear you. Okay, Schwinn. Daniel, could you speak for him?
Yeah, I speak for Schwinn. We approve.
Colleen?
Colleen, I don't think is active anymore.
So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ben?
Did you get Helen's vote?
No, I didn't hear Helen.
We have to get Helen's vote for sure. My vote is, I go along with everybody else. My vote is yes. But get, Helen's vote.
Is she on there, Ian?
It shows she's still on here. At least it's calling 3, and then also has her image. Let me see if I can.
So, Helen,
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I did say yes.
So then the motion has been carried, Howard.
Okay.
To approve the budget for 2020 for the Columbus section.
Josh, can I make a request?
Sure.
It's possible that we can get a 2017 and 2018 report from the concentration banking?
I don't know that.
Are they on the Google Drive?
I would imagine individually, yes. Let me see.
Okay.
I don't know if he has.
We can put that on the side, Josh.
I don't know if 17's in there.
Josh.
Jared created this.
Josh, you gonna be able to hang with us at least the rest of the year?
I mean, I'll do my best. That's all I can do.
Appreciate what you're doing.
Yes, it actually goes back to 16.
Today.
That's in
16, 17.
maybe not all of 16, but most of 16.
Okay, I'll get with you afterwards to make sure I have access to it.
And Josh, I appreciate you gave me the link. I went in and I had to change my password to IEEE to get into it. But anyway, I got in. That's what I thought I saw was.
Yeah, there it is.
Looks like it's all there. I'm not sure. I didn't open it all up, but you look.
Oh, that's weird. I forgot I was still casting my screen so you can see it.
There was a monthly report, 16 and 17 every month.
Yes.
So to expedite the meeting, is it okay to conclude the treasurer's report, Josh?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So the next thing we're going to bounce all the way down to the educational activities.
Carl, before you go, hold on, please, 1 second, if you don't mind. Danielle, are you on the phone?
Yep, I'm still here.
Yeah, Danielle, do you work for AAP?
I work for Burns McDonnell.
Burns and McDonnell. If I may suggest, I'm just, as an individual, okay? If Josh had to leave during the year, would you be able to help us out as a treasurer of the section?
Yeah, yep, I'd love to.
Okay, so if you would, Mr. Carr, in case you decide to appoint, Josh, I'm sorry, Danielle as a treasurer, in case Josh needed to leave. Okay.
That would be totally up to Josh. If you know we have lives, that would be totally up to Josh. If Josh feels he can manage it, I'm fine with it.
I would actually, this is what I'd say right now. I'm fine. I have so much going on in my personal life right now. It's crazy. But I mean, there's a lot that needs to be done. So Dan, we can talk about this offline and maybe bring in a co-chair on, a co-treasurer on for now, so we can get stuff fixed and figured out and a streamlined process. Like you, Ben, you want stuff for societies to open up a bank account. We don't have most of that figured out for the Columbus section because the NetSuite is atrocious. Like there's stuff back in there from 2015 that's never been like finalized. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to understand what's going on in NetSuite, but it looks like we could have a way to write checks right from NetSuite that would be mailed directly to whoever it is, and it wouldn't be like me writing physical checks out and all that type of stuff. And I've been trying to work on that and find somebody to test it on. But anyways, my point saying is like there's a lot of work that needs done.
Sure.
So the help will be more than appreciated.
And to let you guys know, when I do talk to the region finance, he says there's a lot of dynamics going on where they're making changes and they haven't even got everything lined up correctly regionally for what their plans are concerning Concur and all kind of things. I try to get training in that, and it's so it's not just here.
And I just want to say I really appreciate what Josh did for us in the past 2 years, and I really appreciate that Josh. This is Xuan, especially the supporting our workshop last year. And the only thing I think Daniel and we want to have is the communication channel between you and Daniel, no matter it's from Columbus section charter and the PS chapter charter, or a charter and co-charter or whatever. But if you guys can have that communication there, everything can be resolved. So. Right. Thank you so much, Josh and Daniel. I mean,
that sounds great. All of that sounds great.
It sounds perfect.
Yes, it does.
So the end result is what? Josh as well as Daniel are working together for some time.
Yeah, they're going to be treasurer and co-treasurer, and they're going to try to get everything back to complete caught up.
Well,
we already set up a meeting. I think you were off at the time, Ben, or you couldn't hear us at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, they set up, I don't know if it's a Google meeting, but a calendar meeting that.
Oh, great.
And they're bringing in Reed, the auditor, in as you suggested.
Great. All right. I'm very happy. Thank you very much. Thanks to Josh.
Yes.
For us.
I'm very happy too today. So this has been an arduous meeting, but it has accomplished a lot. So if Josh is okay with it, I would like to close the Treasury report. We've already done 2 professional societies, ending with Ben. So it would start with you again, Josh, and educational activities, if that's okay with you.
Yes, that's fine. And I mean, other than Maker Acts and stuff, but we've belabored, and I think we have most of what we need done. I don't need to really come on an education chair right now, so we can just get through the rest of this as fast as we can and let people get back to their families and what they need to do.
Great. And concerning Ian and his STEM programs, everything has changed with the education stuff we were going to talk about with STEM, Ian, dealing with online stuff. So we'll discuss that some other time. Is that all right, Ian?
Oh, that's fine.
So next is you, webmaster.
Well,
I'm sorry, Howard. We're moving to the webmaster report.
Yeah.
Well, the website's been actually staying pretty active. There's people are coming on almost every single day. A lot of people coming from different areas, and
it's looking good too, man.
yeah, constantly working on it sometimes. And like also, I'm trying to rebuild my own server because like I decided to migrate over to a Windows server.
Well, we thank you for your hard work, and hopefully we get you rewarded along the way. At the end of your report,
Yeah, honestly, it's
student activities chair. I got some students up at OSU that are getting involved with urban farm. John, I haven't talked to you about them yet, but we'll all get together if you're still on there, John. So that's the
John.
student
He has some
activities
kids
chair
to take care of.
So you got the student activity chair report, Howard?
Do what? Yeah, I'm waiting. What do you got?
Okay, so I'm working with some OSU students to join, about 5 of them. They're ready. Okay, the auditor, Jim Reed, is not on. Robert, section advisor, you still there, Robert?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
The only thing I have right now, because of the stay-at-home order and COVID-19 pandemic, you guys might have already seen it, but IEEE USA sent out an email or so saying that a lot of their ebooks and audiobooks are free to IEEE members to help them out if they want to get a leg up on the careers while they might have some free time to read or whatever. So I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but that's about the only thing I have right now.
That'll be good for me to put in my membership drive, because right now everybody's, like Colleen said, everybody's kind of lost on what to do at this particular point. They're trying to come up with some student things, so I could add that in there. So is that it, Rob?
For the section advisor report, yeah.
Thank you. So AP and MT is not here. Bob, is you again, Computer and Communication Society?
Yeah. Along the same lines, some of the societies are providing some, free webinars. So whatever society you belong to, you might want to check to see if they are offering free webinars. As far as the Columbus section Computer and Communication Society, on the 10th of March, Richard Reinhardt from NASA Glenn contacted me and said, because of, the university's closing and NASA was had limited travel. And then, of course, later on we had the stay-at-home order. They said that, they decided to postpone the talk that they were going to give to us. Originally, they were going to talk about deep space communications, the research they've done in that, but they couldn't find someone that wanted to speak about it. So they said that they were gearing up for a talk on lunar surface communications. And that sounded pretty interesting, but they said that because of the way things are right now, they're going to postpone it. So I think I'm trying to see about scheduling the meetings for the fall. And then I sent a message to Steve Gruder at Expedient Stelman Data Center, because about every 2 years or so we kind of go back there and take a tour of the data center, and if there's a new trends in cloud computing, have a presentation on that. And I haven't heard back from them, but they're like limited, just like all the other businesses. There might be some people working there, but you can't really go there right now. So I'll be working with him to hopefully set something up in the fall, since we couldn't do it in spring. And that's all I have right now.
Well, great. Thank you for your patience in waiting for your reports. So Control System Society is me, and we're going to be having some things with the urban farm and Roots Up. I'm going to have some involvement in that, but we're tentatively waiting and see the timeline on that project before we set any particular events. That's the end of my report. for Control Society. Dr. Berger for Electronic Devices, Photonics. Of course, I'm in contact with him. There's no report right now because he's still in Colombia. Engineers in Medicine and Biology Society is not here. And Schwinn or Daniel, we have the PES report.
Yeah, so Carl, this is Xuan. So actually, as I mentioned before, we plan to have our April event, but that thing got postponed to May 15th. And I think we will weigh this whole situation again at the end of this month to see if we can still have that event on May 15th. If not, we will keep postponing that to June. But that's our plan. And in the meantime, as I mentioned in the previous time as well, we definitely want to have another tool at the AEP Training Center, hopefully this summer, after this whole stuff and after that event. So that is also on our radar. And last thing I have to mention here is I may take another position as IEEE PES Region 2 representative, maybe recently. So they kind of reach out to me to see if I can help the Power Energy Society from national point of view. So I may take that position, but I will help with all the transitions in our team here, and I will be supporting PES Columbus chapter forever. So whenever if I am at Columbus, so I will always be in the chapter. So just for your knowledge. Yeah.
That's great. That was really great. Well, appreciate your patience too. Richard is not here. He's the PES advisor, and I got clarified on what his actual duties are. And Richard, you are not here, are you? I'm not sure who's here and who's not. Okay, Signal Processing Society, Kurt Young Lee, haven't heard from him this year. So real soon we're going to discuss the people we haven't had contact with in quite a while. Colleen was here, but maybe Helen works with her on that, and Helen's in Women in Engineering. So we're going to start with young professionals. Do you have anything that you might want to speak for with Colleen, Helen?
Right now, it's nothing is going on. Yeah, like everyone else, most of our face-to-face activities are postponed. I did have a meeting or conference with Region 2 Women in Engineering, so there's a lot of planning that's going on how to, I guess, streamline or improve participation and activities within the geographic areas. And we had our conference call on April 1st. So that's a monthly event that we do with Region 2 on planning. And I still yet have to meet a lot of the members in the Columbus section. So I've been trying to get a hold of most of the members, but I'm not having a lot of success. So I may need to go to Felicia and get a list of people to call with. But in the moment, we don't have any event planned until things get settled.
And you and young professionals, we and young professionals working together, correct?
In some event, we have a joint event with networking and the students. I know that during the Maker X, we had a contact with, I think, one of the presenter from university in Newark. I can't remember the school there, Ivy League school. What is that? It just left my mind. I think there's a university before you get to Newark. Anybody know?
Yeah, it's in Granville.
For Columbus State.
Yeah, Granville.
Oh, Denison University.
Denison.
Yeah, Denison.
Denison is
Yeah,
over there.
Denison. Yeah, so I was discussing possibility of starting a WE section over at Denison. So I need to follow up with that professor to see if they still be interested in starting a program.
And by the way, Helen, this is Xuan. So in case you have a joint event with young professional, can you also involve PES as well? We are also happy to be involved with your joint event in the future, any event in the future. We can talk about that offline.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, did you have anything for we, or was that combined?
That was combined.
Okay, Howard, am I all right with you, Howard? Okay, I'm moving on to the student branches. And I talked to John, well, I didn't talk, but we communicated today with email, me and John Gozy today, and texting. And his problem with not making this meeting is he has board meetings at the same time, and then some student activities right after that. But he also is going to be bringing some students to be involved with the urban farm and site program. Ohio University, Daniel Alwine, which I had thought, Dr. Daniel, I thought was you, Daniel. So I haven't been getting, he's probably wondering what am I talking to him about, if he's even answered. So I haven't heard anything from him. I did text. Yeah, moving on to Ohio State University now, Howard. You know, he was at the event that we were at on Friday. Y'all heard it at the last meeting because I saw it on the minutes. Me and Helper was there. And I didn't get a response from him today to make this meeting, although I did make him aware of it. Ohio State University graduate students, again, is Dr. Berger. And of course, he's in Columbia. And Colleen is basically working with Zane State University, and she was here. And she's probably got some activities going we'll probably hear about next time. Columbus State Community College, I have been working with them with Mr. Davis, and they are kind of reluctant to get a faculty advisor involved. But this was even before COVID-19. So it doesn't look like we'll have very much success there, especially after this. That's the end of the reports. Is there any old business that anyone would like to bring up besides budget? I'll take all that as a no. Is there any new business that anyone would like to bring up? I think I already brought up the new business with the site program. That's the only new business that I know of at this point. Hearing no responses, I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion. This is Helen. Motion to adjourn.
And I'll second it, Bob Austin.
All in favor say aye, and I thank everybody for your patience, and we got a lot done today, and the next meeting is on the 14th. Am I correct? Same time that I saw Swin and them was having theirs.
Yes, May 14 is the next second Tuesday.
Okay,
Thursday.
everybody stay safe, and praying that everybody stays healthy and everybody's families stay healthy. So I'm glad to see our governor being the kind of governor that he is and doing what he's doing. And I'm one of those churches that said no service. We do everything online now, and it seems like a lot more work. So thank everybody once again. You guys have a good evening and a good week, and be safe.
Thanks,
All
everyone.
right.
Thanks,
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Ian.
Quite a bit done today.